Have you ever considered the integral game of chess that is politics? Like how a single move can change the entire game. Let's take a moment to ponder the current political climate in Africa, a continent known for its rich history, diverse cultures, and unfortunately, political instabilities. Nos we cast our gaze on the recent unsettling events in Mali, where an attempted coup has sent shockwaves through the international community. The military leaders, in a show of defiance, have arrested the president and prime minister, triggering a political crisis threatening the transition to democratic elections. The international stage is tense, with leaders from around the globe, including French President Emmanuel Macron, uh, pressuring Mali's military to release the detained leaders. As the dust settles in Mali, the ripples of this political turmoil reach across borders, influencing decisions in the highest chambers of power. In the face of such unsettling events, well, I would say is how does a leader respond? How does he ensure the stability of his own kingdom? Let us ponder over our hypothetical African head of state, a man of power and influence who takes note of the tumultuous events unfurling in Mali. Perched on the precipice of a political Maligan, he must make a calculated decision to prevent a similar fate in his own realm. The answer, he concludes, is a reshuffle of his cabinet. This reshuffle is not a rash decision, mind you, but a calculated response to the winds of change that are sweeping across the continent. It's a strategic move aimed at ensuring political stability and preventing the seeds of dissent from taking root. By bringing in new faces, he hopes to infuse his cabinet with fresh ideas and perspectives, thus invigorating the nation's leadership. Moreover, this reshuffle is a signal to potential usurpers, a clear message that his government is prepared to adapt and evolve in the face of adversity. It's a move designed to quell any brewing discontent and to reassert his control over the nation's affairs. This is not just a game of musical chairs, but a well-orchestrated dance of power and politics. And yet one must wonder, is this enough? Can a reshuffle truly prevent the tides of change from washing over his shores? Or is it merely a plaster on a festering wound? Will this move maintain the status quo, or will it merely fuel the fires of instability? A reshuffle, a strategic move in this grand game of chess, but is it enough to keep the rooks at bay? Yet, beneath the veneer of leadership and decisive action, do we not find the stench of hypocrisy? As we delve deeper into the actions of our head of state, we uncover a web of contradictions. A government that seems more focused on the chessboard of power rather than the well-being of its people. The reshuffle, while presented as a strategic response to external threats, is merely a facade. The real motive? To retain power, to strengthen alliances, to quell any potential insurrections within the ranks. These are the moves of a seasoned player, not a benevolent leader. While the government's elite are shuffled around like pieces on a chessboard, the pressing needs of the populace are sidelined. The economy teeters on the brink. Social unrest brews, and yet the government's priority is political maneuvering. The irony is not lost on the citizens who bear the brunt of these policies. The general public, far from being placated by the reshuffle, views it with skepticism. They see it for what it is, a distraction, a smokescreen. The reshuffle does little to address the rampant corruption, the lack of basic services, the widening wealth gap. Instead, it perpetuates the status quo, preserving power in the hands of the few at the expense of the many. In the end, the game continues, the pawns are sacrificed, and the king remains on his throne. But for how long? As the winds of change continue to sweep across the continent, will the king's castle hold, or will it crumble under the weight of its own hypocrisy? Only time will tell.